Now it's time for And the Winner Is Motorsports Show, a production of the ETV Live Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Get ready for 2 fun-filled hours of racing dialogue, race results, commentary from drivers, promoters, sponsors, media dignitaries, and much, much more. And now, the racing devil, Mike Neff, and the ringmaster of motorsports, Wesley Outland. This is And the Winner Is Motorsports Show.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the December 10th edition of And the Winner Is Motorsports Show, a broadcast of the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. And, man, I'll tell you what, we got a great show lined up here tonight. Pretty much going to kind of step out of the box and give these drivers kind of a rest on talking with them after their 2012 racing seasons in the books. And I'm going to talk about technology. I'm going to talk to Barry Braun with XN TV about what great things they have going on with online broadcasting. We're also going to talk with Phil Vaught's with HD Radio Network, which is our radio network subscriber that covers all of the great things that go on with ETV Live Radio, and, of course, all the other 5-6 different servers throughout the country. And Langley Austin from Race22.com, going to talk about some asphalt racing, dirt racing, going to talk about even the resignation of Brad Allen from Ace Speedway. That's a pretty big, pretty big story. A lot of people were definitely surprised and shocked to that whole deal, and we'll discuss those things and much, much more here on And the Winner Is Motorsports Show. And again, we welcome you to the program. Fashionably late as always is Mike Neff. He is doing something, I don't know. He's not here yet. Whenever he gets here, he'll be scalded. But joining me in the booth is my producer, as always, John Wessling. John, how you doing, buddy, in Indiana? It was good hanging out with you this weekend.
Yeah, I got to finally meet the old Wesley Outland. You kind of lived up to the hype, Wesley, I guess you'd say.
And by the way, John Wessling got sold at the Indiana Convention Center by yours truly over the weekend.
Yeah, $200 measly, Wesley. What the heck?
It was the hair, John. It was the hair.
Heck, I got at least $200 worth of hair on my head.
Absolutely. But no, brother, man, it was great meeting you. Great meeting you over the weekend. Definitely awesome hanging out with you Saturday at the IMA show. Dude, how big is that racing event? I mean, that is like the biggest motorsports extravaganza trade show in the country.
Yeah, that kind of blew my socks off, Wesley, because I wasn't really expecting anything that huge. And, man, the money in that place, Wesley, unreal.
We could set up ETV booth next year.
Yeah, there you go. I hate to think what one of them booths costs out there at the Wesley.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. But, man, I'm going to tell you what. Just a lot of great things that went on that took place over the course of the weekend. And we've got some exciting news to make for ETV coming up here very soon, probably the first of the year, ain't it, John?
Almost definitely. We'll let you break the news, Wesley. You've been working hard on this for quite a while now.
Well, I just want to say that in ETV Live Radio, HD Radio Network, excuse me, is going to be inking a deal with Fast Track Companies International, which is the series that I work for, doing the Fast Track Racing Series, and Fast Track Weekly Live will be airing in 2012, as well as other Fast Track venues, on HD Radio Network and the ETV Live Radio. So we're really, really excited about that. I think it's going to be a big momentum booster for ETV, ETV Live Radio and HD Radio Network and the Fast Track Racing Series. And finally, John Wessling was able to sit down, meet the boss, meet the man-to-man, Stan Lester, and they were able to work some stuff out and shake hands at the end of the deal. And I'm thinking, what are you thinking, first of the year, first Tuesday night of the year we're going to launch this thing?
Yeah, I think we're trying to get all the ducks in a row and make sure we Everybody's getting out of it what they want to get out of it. And Wesley, Stan's not the guy you said he was. He's actually a pretty nice guy.
I never said Stan was a bad guy. You're going to try to get me fired before we do our first race.
No, you've never said that, Wesley. I had to throw that in there, see if I could get you in a little trouble.
You'll never get me in trouble, fella. Never. Man, where the hell is Mike Neff at, dude? Fashionably late?
I think he said he had to go pick up some pantyhose or something from Walmart.
Christmas shopping for himself or his wife?
All right, let's hope it was for his wife.
Merry Christmas.
No, but there were some really fancy cars and engine supplies and stuff out that show, Wes. I was quite impressed. And there's some cars. I thought I'd seen all the racing cars out there, but wow, there were some cars in there that were like wicked.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely a great show. Met a lot of great people. Met a lot of motorsports personalities and people that I've known in the business or have associated with via phone or Facebook or Twitter. But finally meeting them in person was really cool. Meeting Brad Doty from the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars was awesome. Meeting Ralph Shaheen from National Speed Sport News. Jim Trado with Speed Channel. I mean, the list goes on and on. Just a great... If you are anybody in racing, the who's who in racing, Alan Dietz from past, he's been on the show with us numerous times this year. Anybody in racing, John Wessling was there at the IMUS show.
I was kind of wishing a couple appointments before I could meet you out there, Wesley, but I wish I could have got there a little bit earlier. There's quite a few guys that you ran into out there that have been on your shows. I would really like to have a conversation with.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you know what? One thing I really liked, Mike, and I'm going to tell Mike this, John.
If you call
really
me Mike again, I'm
enjoyed
going to come to North Carolina.
Do what now?
If you call me Mike Neff again, I'm coming to North Carolina.
No, I didn't call you Mike Neff. I said what I'm going to tell Mike is what I'm going to tell you. I really love the nightlife in Indy. I really love the atmosphere in Indianapolis.
I'm glad you liked it. I usually take my gun after midnight.
Wow, are you serious?
Especially down where you was.
Some of the nicest places we've gone to in Indy. I really loved the atmosphere, and just totally enjoyed, everybody there. It was just an all-around great weekend. And next year they're going to begin. It will be the SEMA IMUS show, or the SEMA PRI show in Indianapolis. And basically, performance racing industry and International Motorsports Industry show bought out by SEMA. And SEMA PRI will be the new entity. And that will be in 2013. So,
oh, Wesley, hold on. I got to go unlock the screen door. I think your buddy Mike Neff finally showed up.
Always late.
Yeah, but Wesley's fashionably late. I mean, that takes a little bit of class to be late like that, right?
If you're going to be late, come in with a damn grand old entrance. Ladies and gentlemen on the program, the Racing Devil, Mike Neff!
Y'all want me to do a damn grand entrance? I'm 10 minutes late. Bwahaha.
What you doing, dude?
What is going on? I'm running around crazy.
Did you get your pantyhose, Mike Neff?
I did not get pantyhose.
Well, that's what Wesley said. You went to Walmart to get pantyhose.
No, I was trying to take some pantyhose back to Target because we spent $8 on a damn thing. Yvonne barely got them up past her freaking knees and they blew out.
Wow.
I'm telling you what, you want to talk about a damn scam. That's about as big a scam as you can get.
Did this really happen? Are you serious?
Seriously, Saturday night, we're getting ready to go to the NASCAR Regional Touring Series banquet. Bought a brand new pair of pantyhose because the night before she got a small run in her other pair. Get home, she's putting them on, and I'm kid you not, they're just past her knees, and it was like poof, about a 6-inch run, blows out the side of the damn thing. I'm like $8.
I was just
down
playing,
the shitter.
talking about
Didn't even get to
pantyhose,
put 'em
and all of a sudden something really happened with them.
I'm telling you, we're going to take them back. I'm going to raise the stink somehow. Somebody's getting us a new pair of pantyhose.
Well, anyhow, fresh in
Anyhow,
from
what are we
Indianapolis.
talking about? What's going on? What's the word? I just got here. What's happening?
I just kind of chatted up, talking about things. You know, I was finally able to meet the John Wessling, Fast Track John Wessling, over the weekend at the IMS show and hang out with him. And he even got sold at an auction at a very low bid. And we just...
Was he at the show, or was he just hanging out in Indianapolis?
He lives in Indianapolis, and
I knew he lived in Indianapolis.
Popped up at the show. He popped in and said hello.
Was it a productive show? Did you get a lot done?
I would say very impressed. A lot of great things took place. A lot of great things happened. There's going to be a lot of big things on the horizon, not only for the Fast Track Racing Series, but also for my personal announcing vendettas as well, ventures as well, and for And the Winner Is. Looking to talk with some contingency sponsors that are looking to put some prize packs together, Mike, to give away to winners on the show.
Nice.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Got to do some things. Got to get a name behind it. Met Forrest Lucas with Lucas Oil. And, the only times I've chatted with him was been on the phone. He loves motorsports. He's very receptive of everything that we are doing here on And the Winner Is. And I'm supposed to have a sit-down with them coming up here in Charlotte the first of the year. And
I'm jealous because I've been trying to get up with that dude for like 3 years, and I've never been able to speak to him. Oh,
I'm just hoping that. John Wessling, who's anybody in racing, was at IMS, wasn't they, brother?
Yes, sir. There's a lot of people there.
He was not there last year. They had a whole bunch of Lucas people running around in their booth, but Forrest was not one of them.
Mike Neff, you know who else Wesley got a gig with for broadcasting?
Let me think of who would have been at IMIS that he would get a gig. That would be impressive. USCS?
The 14th annual chicken drag race. They drag race real chickens.
I was thinking it might have been the United Lawnmower Racing Association. But chicken drag racing is intense.
He almost got the senior nationals, but it was outbid a little bit.
Millbridge Speedway, they were hustling, Mike. They were all over the place.
Oh, Millbridge works hard, brother.
Talking to people and meeting people and getting business cards, working on contingencies and sponsors. If they have a hell of a year this year, they've earned it. Absolutely. They've done a great job up there.
Yep, and on the plus side, I take a little bit of credit. They were talking about kitchen stuff when they were going to PRI, and I said, it would really be a good idea to dummy up in the presentation what the billboards would look like on the backstretch if these people actually buy a billboard. And lo and behold, they did that and took it down to PRI, and people really were receptive. Where, you can tell somebody, yeah, we're going to sell you a billboard on the backstretch. They got no idea what that looks like. And if you can show them a picture of the backstretch with the billboards and what their logo would look like on the billboards, it worked. It got a lot of people talking, got a lot of people looking. They sold a whole bunch of them. Sold a few more of them up at IMIS, and we're still working on selling some around the Charlotte area. So, yeah, it's going to be a good year. We got a really busy schedule already lined up, and things are potentially going to be even busier. I don't know if you heard the word or not, but Jimmy Elledge is now officially the owner of QRC Karts, which is probably the biggest supplier of outlaw race karts in the United States. And so, I do know that he runs at Millbridge on a regular basis. So I think we're going to see, more and more of the QRC karts at Millbridge, and we're going to be trying to get more and more NASCAR types into some QRC karts. So hopefully, it's going to be some big doings having Elledge as the owner of QRC.
I don't know what the hell happened. The server crashed or something. I mean, I was
talking.
You.
That was all you. We were carrying on a conversation. Everybody else was here. You just left.
Okay,
As I started talking about Millbridge, and you know how you are.
Yeah, no, I said Millbridge. I wanted to give props to Jeremy and Ashley Burnett at Millbridge, and they're hustling through the Imus show and PRI. They've done a hell of a job. If they land a lot of sponsors and business for this year, they've earned it. And by the sound of things, they've got a lot of great things planned. And might I add, it's not just about the mini outlaws or go-karts this year. They've got some big ideas, Mike Neff.
Oh, yeah, we're working on stuff. We reached out to the guys at USAC to try and get them to come run on dirt. And you'd have thought we asked them to give a kidney or something, because they basically were like, get the hell out of here. And so I'm trying to hook up with somebody that'll run
USAC is a friggin' dying sport. I'm sorry. USAC.
Their management is just, I don't get it. I don't know. I'm I don't want to besmirch them too bad, because I grew up on Indy, and USAC is big in the Midwest and was big at Indy forever. But I mean, last year down here, they just got all spun out, canceled half their season, ran all the races in a 1 week time slot. And we're trying to get them to try getting back on dirt down here in the South. I mean, they talk about wanting to run midgets down here, and they're trying to build a following, but they just, I don't know, it's half-assed. And if you give them an opportunity to run on dirt and they just look at you like you got three heads and tell you to go pound sand, that's fine. We'll find somebody else. We're trying to get up with the Power Eye guys. You never know, ASCS, USCS, somebody that's... We've had a 600 out at Millbridge before. It might be a little bit big for the track, but if we get enough billboards down the backstretch to where they're not going to flip down into the creek if they flip on the backstretch, I think we'll be all right. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on at Millbridge this year. It's going to be big.
We're getting ready to give Barry Braun a call with XN TV, dude. We got to continue our conversation from last week, Mike.
Did you actually meet up with him like you were supposed to?
I did, for a couple of minutes. He was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Seriously, a lot of big things happening for XN TV in the 2013 racing season. Barry Braun, tell him all about it, buddy. It was good to finally at least meet you for 2 minutes at the Imus show in Indy. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But, man, hey, the purpose of IMIS, the International Motorsports Industry Show, is to build rapport, build business, build sponsors, build contingencies, get race tracks, get race dates, get sanctioned events. Man, it seemed like you guys pulled off one awesome weekend up there for XN. And, you know, seeing some of the people that you've got affiliated just makes me feel even more better about what you've got going on with XN. But, man, the floor is yours. Half hour. I promise you an hour, but you're going to have to step away after 30 minutes. But, man, just talk about some of the great things that went on there at IMUS and a little bit more about XN.
To talk to you more, but what it comes down to is I actually have to catch up from the show. As you know, we were extremely busy. We actually ended up doing much more than we thought we were going to. We had many more meetings than we thought we were going to.
Right.
And it had just come to a point now where we drove back 15 hours yesterday, and I spent all day catching up on emails and contacts and proposals and things like that. It's out of control, I guess you could say. And we have to run right back into broadcasting or test broadcasting on Wednesday for snowcross. So we really have a limited window to get some of these negotiations finished up and get things ready to go. And then, well, before you know it, we're going to be turning around for East Bay and some other things at the beginning of the year. So, needless to say, yeah, like you're saying, it's I would have loved to been able to talk to you at the show, but I kept getting pulled in all kinds of directions, and there's no complaints from our end, but it's a matter of being caught up, and it was an eye opener.
Now, last week you couldn't do your announcement for us, so share with us, what was your big announcement that you were saving for IMIS?
Well, we did that on the first day at the National Speed Sport News Media Center that they have there at IMIS. But what it is we are actually launching our own platform in March of next year. The name of it right now, or the build name, is called the Experience, and a lot of that comes from the fact that when production-wise, our productions are based upon the racetrack experience. Anyways, when it's all said and done, the platform is much like a Netflix, where you can get it on your Android phone, your iPad, your iPhone, the website, of course, and things like that. Very slick and clean, and one login, and you pick your shows, you pick your account, you add pay-per-views to your account, you watch on your PS3, all those good things. And it's what they call the TV Everywhere program. Basically, what we found out, like I let you guys know last week, is our mobile devices went crazy last year. And we looked at that and thought, hey, now's the time. We're going to jump in and we're going to attack this mobile market because it has taken over a large percentage of our viewership. The biggest thing about being a non-broadcast or non-broadcast TV entity is that it has to be available on as many platforms as possible. So when it's all said and done, if somebody doesn't want to watch it on their computer but they can get it on their iPhone, I want them to be able to have the ability. I don't want to close off that opportunity to reach that race fan. And so we made the investment, and we're going to be doing some testing over the next couple of months, and then we'll launch that in March.
That is very cool. I like the fact. Now, just going to give you the ability to do on-demand after the fact. So let's say somebody in April wants to go back and watch the eBay races from February. Will they be able to do that?
Absolutely. What it is it's a hybrid of on-demand and live content. So you can have, what we're going to do is move the imcaondemand.com website and merge it with XAN. And what we've done with that project over the last 6 months is build a go-to spot for all IMCA racing. And that not only includes races, but little segments and shows and things like that. So again, much like a Hulu or a Netflix, where you have race, footage, you have interviews, you have all kinds of different shows to a certain extent, and then on top of it, you can watch live stuff. So if your account or your subscription allows for you to watch live stuff, or you buy it separately, or what have you, it acts and feels much like a TV station, yet you do it on your time. And that's the cool thing. If you can't make the live event or you can't hit the live event, then you wait for it to come out on video on demand, say the next day, and you can just watch it then. So a lot of cool things with that, and still we're writing the roadmap for what shows and what content we're going to have available with the new service.
Very cool.
Barry Braun again from XAN.TV on the program on And the Winner Is Motorsports Show. As again, coming up, Langley Austin with Race22.com, and also discussing all the great things that happened with the IMIS show, and Mike Neff, another developing story, the resignation of Brad Allen at Ace Speedway, probably one of the most successful asphalt tracks in North Carolina, and since Brad had it at the helm, and finally. We don't know the whole story. We'll find out from Langley Austin. He tells it like it is. Coming up here in a bit, Langley Austin with Race22.com. Barry Braun is on the program. A lot of great things going on with XAN.TV. And I tell you what, you got some of the best people in place. Whenever I was up there at the IMIS show and I saw Chris Granger, man, me and Chris go way back from everything that he done at Ace Speedway and Motorstats.com and so many other great venues and affiliations with NASCAR Technical Institute and much, much more. Chris is a super great man to be working with, Barry.
Yeah, Chris has been my partner when we started this almost 4 years ago at East Bay. And again, like I mentioned last week, it was just a couple of, web geeks that put this project together as Chris and I. And we've been together since that, and we're going to keep building it, further out. And actually at IMIS, we trained another intern in who's coming on board, and then we acquired the services of another videographer in the Midwest exclusively to Xan. Again, in an effort to bump our content up next year. One thing that I've always believed in is content, and the more content, the better. So when it comes to subscriptions, when you buy, you get an extremely good value. And so we are on the outlook right now to acquire people and acquire shows and things that are going to be valuable to the new platform. And eventually, when it's all settled out and we got some good time under it next year, I want it to be the place to go for motorsports.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And, of course, it'll all get kicked off at East Bay for the Winter Nationals coming up on January the 29th through February the 2nd. 6 big weeks of racing. XN.TV will be covering all of that with the internet pay-per-view type style of it. And obviously East Bay, but a big deal for you. What other racing venues or racing announcements were you able to make as part of the IMIS show with being on board with other great things? Because I know whenever I ran into you, you had so many other meetings and things happening. What other new venues is XN going to be exploring or trying to get involved with for 2013 or beyond?
Well, I can tell you this. So we expanded our relationship with IMCA, which has been huge for us. The Boone Super Nationals, Las Vegas Duel in the Desert, and there's some more things that are going to be coming out with that. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage with IMCA. IMCA was very, very vital in our company, basically getting a kick in the pants last year. And it afforded us some opportunities to do things like launch this platform next year. So we're going to build upon our relationship with IMCA and do more things with IMCA. But I can't tell you exactly yet because I haven't signed contracts, but I can tell you we'll be involved in pavement races. We'll be involved in different forms of dirt racing. We're going to be involved in some things that we didn't think we were ever going to be involved. And again, that goes back to us saying we want to be the place to go for all forms of motorsports. And at the end of the day, our guys like racing. It doesn't matter what kind it is. So we'll take whatever is available out on the market, and whoever wants to work with us, we'll give her a shot. Put it on there and help them get some exposure, and at the same time, then, our product hopefully will work relatively well, and then, we'll go from there.
Okay, now my question's going to be on the promotion side of this, because I do help out at Millbridge, and know what other tracks are talking about too. Are you working with the tracks to where they have to pay you? Do you pay them? Is it a mutual thing that if they offer you exclusive access to their content, then you'll do a deal with them? I know you can't break out the total details, but what kind of options do people have that are running racetracks that would like to be partnered in with XN?
There's a couple different ways that we can go about it, and obviously the ones that will bring us big numbers are folks that we're going to negotiate, in depth with, depending upon if they can handle their own production, if we have to go handle the production, et cetera, et cetera. As we build the platform into the next year, I also had a piece of work at a very beta-ish camera switcher / broadcast platform at IMIS. We will have that done probably within 2 weeks, ready for production. But what it is a 6-camera switcher broadcast station that we will be selling as part of our packages to some of the smaller venues and events and things like that. And depending upon the level of involvement that they have with XAN, then we will we have different rates for different people at this point, I can tell you. But again, the ones that get numbers, the bigger series, are the first ones that we're going to work with and negotiate with. And then the long-term plan is, yes, to work with tracks, not necessarily us broadcast, but have them broadcast using some of our equipment, our production techniques, and things like that, to the point where we make some money with us.
So if they
Now I
can
got a
give you the
question
raw
for
stuff,
you,
then you can fine-tune it.
Barry, what is the hardest type of motorsports to videographer, to videotape, to broadcast for XM? What is by far, because you've done it.
And he's gone again, ladies and gentlemen. Wesley Outland, the ringmaster of motorsports, has bailed out. I think he might be having some technical difficulties. Not totally sure why he is, but, you know, when you live in a town called Three Oaks and a Stump, you're probably going to have some potential electronic glitches, because they probably just got a big gerbil down at the end of the road and a wheel that's running the electrical generator to get the power to the town. But I'm sure he's working his way back as we speak. But for those of you that are out there listening, it definitely sounds like XAN is going to be one of the waves of the future. I know some of you are dirt fans already. Go to Dirt on Dirt, because they have some live video stuff. And it seems to be the wave of the future as to how people are getting their entertainment, whether it's from movies or television shows or sports or whatever, is leading towards the on-demand world. Netflix, Redbox, I know there's a couple other services out there where people can go and watch the television shows literally an hour after they've been broadcast on television, and you paid $10 a month and you have access to whatever shows you want to watch. The only drawback at this point of that is you truly don't get live television. So if you're wanting to watch your NASCAR races live, your football games live, things like that, you're at least at this point, you still don't have that as an option. But that option is coming, and it's coming pretty fast. And the way that content and entertainment is delivered to individuals is changing, and it's changing very rapidly. And the people that get on board early are going to be able to take advantage of it the most. And I think these guys at XAN have it going in the right direction. And hopefully those of you that are out there listening to our babbling little show here will speak to your friends about it, plant the seed, and let them know what's coming. If they want to try and see some of their racing live or as close to live as they can get it, from some little tracks that you otherwise wouldn't have that option from, XAN is going to be one of the few places where you're going to have that option. I know Speed 51 has done some video work in the past. ASS is in the process of doing live at-track coverage. I don't know how long it's going to be before they go to video, although video is probably going to be coming. But at this point, XAN and only a handful of other places offer you this option, and XAN is one of the few that's going to allow you to have live racing. So if you're wanting to see racing from venues that you don't normally get to see on television, XAN is probably going to be the best bet, or one of the best bets that you're going to have. And we appreciate them taking the time to be on the show, filling us in on what they've done and what they have experienced at IMIS and what they've developed going forward. And hopefully, as they're able to announce more tracks and more opportunities to see racing, they'll come back on the show and let our fans be the first ones to know about it. Because we are definitely on board with the XAN way of doing things, and I think this is going to be a cool thing in the future. Be able to have little tracks like Millbridge, like Concord, like Hickory in South Boston, and Lucas Oil and Irwindale if they ever get back up and running, and Skagit and places like that where you don't get to see racing live on television because, face it, they want you to spend a fortune at speed to be able to put your races on their programming, and it's not going
Have
to work.
more of a relationship, more of what's going on with
Wesley's back.
the racing program and with XN.TV. Thank you so much for all of that you do and that you have done, and it just seems like you just have so much success going on for the for your network, and I can't wait to see you down there at East Bay and work with you guys. It's going to be an exciting 4 days of racing.
Well, I'll tell you what, the best way is stay tuned on XN.TV, and especially our Facebook. Our Facebook is obviously the fastest way for us to get out information. But just stay tuned with us. Let us get caught up. I want to share a lot of the good news that's coming out. We definitely want to get as many tracks and as many sanctions involved, but we got to take it step by step right now and not go overboard, because I've seen that happen, and we've actually been guilty of that our first year. So we kind of just are taking a step back and really getting the platform and the structure of the organization worked out. And then in 2013, I think we're going to have a fantastic year.
Mike, now, if you got anything left for Barry Braun before we part ways with him?
Dude, I just got done pumping up their whole XN thing for the 10 minutes while you guys disappeared. I was babbling up a storm all about him. I'm pretty psyched that it's going to be the wave of the future. To get your broadcast entertainment experience, and I'm glad to see they're getting in the front door of this thing. Going to be at the ground level, and I think all of our listeners should jump on board now, because when you can take advantage of the ground floor of something, you can usually enjoy the experience more and be more seasoned at it by the time everybody else finds out about it.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Giving us a chance to see racing at tracks where we don't normally get the chance to see racing. And it's going to be a really cool thing going forward, and I hope that it takes off, and I hope every track in the country adapts your logic or your technology so that we can watch races from Skagit to Oxford Plains and everywhere in between.
Well, I will tell you this, guys. One that I will end with is I have some news, potentially huge news. And what I want to do is the next time I come in here, I want to rock your guys' socks off. Because if we put together even half of what we have from the IMIS show, it's going to blow your guys' mind. And that's what I'll end with. So just keep on xn.tv and you'll find out.
Awesome, brother. I hope you get in the World of Outlaws. Let me just throw that out there. I don't know if you're going to or not. I hope you do, though, because those guys should be on TV. And if you could get them on your channel, it would be gigantic.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for the opportunity again, and we'll keep spreading the good word.
Absolutely. Barry Braun, buddy, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you being on the program. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. When you get that big news release, you let me know via Facebook or by phone, and, man, we'll have you back on here again. You got an open forum anytime you want to talk about XN on ETV.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's Barry Braun at XN.TV. John Wesley, I need to take an extended, not just a 2-minute break. I need to take an extended commercial break, please. When we come back, we will...
He's got to feed the gerbil.
No. Whenever we come back, we will have on our next guest, which is Phil Vaughts with ETV and HD Radio Network. Talk a little bit more about HD Radio Network, which is actually airing the show live via the internet on hdradionetwork.com. And when we come back, we'll chat it up. An extensive commercial break. It's about 4 or 5 minutes. When we come back after that, then we'll be ready to rock and roll and continue along with me and Mike Neff talking motorsports. Langley Austin in the second hour to talk about asphalt racing and what happened at Ace Speedway as well. So just stay tuned. Tickets, I don't know what happened, guys. For some hour or another,
you got to feed the gerbil. You got that gerbil down there at the end of the road at Three Oaks and a stump that generates your electricity, and he probably fell off the wheel. So go feed the gerbil.
Well, we got to go fix the gerbil wheel, exactly. So, hang tight. Be back in about after this extended commercial break, and we'll be back with more And the Winner Is on ETV Live right after this. Don't forget, me and Michael Keaton tonight, 9:30 with the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series.
ETV Live, always pushing the bar just a little bit further, is proud to introduce ETV Live Radio, supported by the HD Radio Network. ETV Live Radio features classic rock every hour, every day. You can also catch live events such as Race Day broadcast right from the booth, Open Paddock Live at 9:30 p.m. Tuesday nights, The Pit Report on Friday nights at 7 p.m. ETV Live Radio featured in the sports section of iTunes. Get the mobile app from TuneIn.com and look for us on Windows Media Guide. ETV Live Radio on the HD Radio Network.
Shortway Real Estate Incorporated, conveniently located off of intersection I-81 and I-77 in Wytheville, Virginia. Services all of Southwest Virginia in residential, farms, recreational, and commercial properties. The company is owned by Jason and Judy Short. Judy has been in the real estate market for over 15 years and is the broker of Shortway Real Estate. And they have two of the top agents in Southwest Virginia. Their goal is simple: to provide the best customer service and build business on repeat clients. You can get pre-approvals in less than 20 minutes. They have many properties located on over 300 websites nationwide. You can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for customer service guaranteed. And guess what? Licensed in Virginia, they can show you any property listed in the Commonwealth state. They're located at 1205 East Main Street in Wytheville, Virginia. For more details, call 276-223-4018. That's 276-223-4018. Shortway Real Estate Incorporated, reminding you, take the short way home.
Hey, JD with ETV Live Radio, your source for online autosports entertainment. Tune in every Monday night at 6 p.m. for 2 hours of And the Winner Is Motorsports Show with Wesley Outland from the Fast Track Racing Series and Michael Neff. They bring you the down-home local asphalt and dirt track racing from go-karts to go-fast, late model, and everything in between. Local results, interviews, and more. ETV Live Radio. Look for us on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and Windows Media Guide. You can also find us at etv-eplay.net. If you're in the dirt, then grab a cold one, sit down, shut up, and strap in, cowboys. Sunday nights on ETV Live and ETV Live Radio, Sim Pro Racing features the Lucas Oil Power Eye Midgets. Pro drivers from all over straddling 600 horsepower of lean, mean, dirt-slinging machines every Sunday night live at 9:20 p.m. on the Dirt Channel at ETV Live and ETV Live Radio, etv-eplay.net. Do it or stay home.
The fever. Intense. NASCAR racing experience. The authentic racing experience. Packages start at just $329. Thrilling. Yeah! The rush. The NASCAR racing experience. Call 1-877-RACE-LAP today.
Coming up tonight live on ETV Live and ETV Live Radio, Real Sim Racing's Full Throttle Cup Series. Join Michael Keaton and Devin Smirker from the booth with reports and live updates from Pit Road by Dakota Ehrman and the ETV Live Pit Road crew. Live on ETV Live tonight at 9:20 p.m. on the Star Car Channel and ETV Live Radio, Real Sim Racing's Full Throttle Cup Series, etv-eplay.net. We'll see you there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the And the Winner Is radio program. I am Mike Neff, the Racing Devil. And he is Wesley Outland, the ringmaster of motorsports with the dying gerbil that can't keep his computer connected to our server. And we are glad to have you along for the ride tonight. Just got done talking with the Xan experts that are going to be revolutionizing your racing content entertainment dollar going forward into the next decade. And now who are we bringing on? Wesley Outland? Phil Foltz. Wesley. Apparently Wesley has left the building again.
I'm still here.
There he is. I got him. Stop looking. We found him.
I'm still here. Man, I just got something. Sorry.
See, you always give me grief about eating. At least I don't choke to death while I'm eating on the show. I just clang my fork a little bit.
Wesley, are you on pain medication?
I'm thinking he's on antidepressant medication.
I have no idea, guys. This thing is acting up. Mike, take over. I'll be right back.
There he is. He's leaving once again, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll just be glad that we're here. We get to talk about racing. Even though the schedule is winding down, there's still some racing going on. I was just reading that the Florida United Promoters wrapped up their season this past weekend. We had, unfortunately, I don't have those results handy rapidly in front of me, but I know they wrapped up down there, which is about the last of any organized series wrapping up their racing for the year. We got another couple weeks, and it'll be time for icebreaker stuff going on at Talladega. They're going to be running at Providence, Rhode Island, indoors for the NEMA Midgets. We'll have Chili Bowl right around the corner. What is the dates on the Chili Bowl? Second week in January, I think it is. Hang on, and I will let you know. I'm trying to bring up my handy-dandy internet exploring device. Of course, my computer's running slowly because it's still trying to talk to Wesley Outland. Turbo has died, I do believe. But we're glad to have y'all in for tonight's show. Hoping that we're going to be able to get Wesley back on here because he's the man with the plan that has the ability to talk to our guests. Otherwise, you just get to hear me babble. And while I'm more than happy to talk for 2 hours, and I've done it before, it can really get kind of dull and boring after about 3 minutes. Hoping we're going to get him rebounded, back in line, back on board so that we can talk to Phil Fultz and Langley Austin, who's going to tell us about Brad Allen leaving Ace Speedway. All that Ace Speedway is up for sale. If you look at the racingjunk.com, I believe it is, you can actually see the ad to purchase Ace Speedway, although it's not the whole Speedway. Apparently they'll sell you a 50% interest for $2.4 million. Just a couple years after the gentleman who bought it paid $2.1 million for the whole kit and caboodle. Since he has done it, he's expanded the go-kart track and put in a new flag stand on the go-kart track, which apparently has somehow more than doubled the value of the racing facility. Not exactly sure how that happened, but apparently he thinks it has, and that's the way it goes. So Brad Allen has gotten tired of the mess and has moved on. Not sure where Brad is headed at this point in time. I know he had some offers in the not-too-distant past to take his talents elsewhere, and I really hope that he does show up somewhere else, because there are not a lot of promoters in the racing business that get it like Brad Allen does. I had the pleasure of going to Ace Speedway a few times in the last couple of years, and I'd never seen anything like it. I just put it to you like that. Brad Allen would go through the grandstands and shake the hand of every person who came into the racetrack to watch their racing show on a given Friday night. There's no other track that I have ever been to, and I've been to a handful of them. Short tracks, anywhere east of the Mississippi. I must admit I have never been to a track west of the Mississippi before. But east of the Mississippi, I have never been to a racetrack outside of Ace Speedway where the promoter walked around through the grandstands and shook the hand of every person who took the time to come to their track on a race night. And bottom line is he gets it. It's letting people know that you appreciate what they're doing. And as far as his dealings with the drivers and the race teams, the same thing. Appreciated you being there, but he was also fair. And if you listen to some guys talk about it, some people thought he might have been a little too fair or tried to be a little too fair and didn't put the foot down hard enough, as some of them thought. But And what I saw and the way I saw him dealing with teams and making calls, being a former racer as he was, I think he called it about as fair as he could whenever it was possible. And Ace Speedway is a better place because of him. And wherever he ends up in the near future is going to be a beneficial place, or as a place that benefits because of the fact that he is going to be there promoting their racetrack, because he gets it, he knows what he's doing, and he does a hell of a job. By the way, did you notice that the Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire will be held January 8th to the 12th, 2013. So those of you that are interested in getting out to the Tulsa, Oklahoma Exposition Center, head on down January 8th to the 12th to see the alphabet soup that is the Chili Bowl Nationals.
Guys,
Find out if Kevin
I'm telling
Swindell
you, Mike,
can win 4 in a row.
I'm ticked off, Mike.
No, not you.
Dude, I am. Man, I'm
Mr.
telling you, I don't know
Calm.
why your server's not crashing, but mine is.
Because you're in 3 Oaks and a Stone.
Whatever.
I'm telling you, Mr. Ziffel's probably on the pole down at the corner talking on the phone, and it's breaking up your service.
Got your jokes. Keep laughing, okay?
Hey, man. The price you pay for living out in the sticks.
Whatever.
Get a bigger can.
Gonna do something about it. Let's get our next guest on the show. What do you think?
Let's.
Phil Waltz. Super producer Phil of HD Radio Network. Going to be on the program with us. John Westland, you can jump into this one anytime as well, because you know this guy a lot longer than I have.
My internet works.
And Phil Waltz, are you there, buddy?
Oh, Fox, get it right.
False.
See, I said Volts, and John said it was Fox.
Hillbilly, but come on.
See, I knew it. I said Phil Volts, and John kept saying Volts. I kept saying John
Foltz.
I kept saying Phil Volts, and John Westling said no, it's Phil Volts.
I did not, and I Mike Neff.
Who's John?
I'm with you, John.
Westling?
I heard you say Foltz.
Oh hell. Phil, how you doing, man? I'm just gonna call you super producer from now on. Damn it.
That's right, super producer Phil.
Absolutely, man. Talk a little about what you do here at ETV and with HD Radio Network.
I pull up to the buffet and I have lunch.
And he's a big boy,
Absolutely.
too. He can eat a lot of food.
Has an excellent buffet.
Now, come on out. Now, seriously, Phil, what do you do?
He is the buffet of racing.
Owner, operator, HD Radio Network, one of the largest and fastest growing internet radio networks on the planet. We inked a deal with ETV Live. I don't know, it's been a while now. I don't even remember how long it's been, to simulcast their events via the internet on the radio. A little bit kind of like they do with TV. We do the radio side of it so that people that are on the go or can't get their PC to watch it can tune in and listen to it, and listen to shows like yours.
Absolutely. You're definitely correct, and not only is ETV Live Radio and HD Radio Network, you're on those two servers, but you're on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, Windows Media Guide. There are 5 or 6 different ways, Phil, where you can be able to have people tune in to the broadcast on ETV Network.
Absolutely. We pride ourselves in the options that we give our listeners. They can find us just about anywhere on the internet. Can tune into us with just about any device. Get the stream, and we have a wide variety. Not only do we, simulcast ETV Live Radio, but we have a wide variety of other genres that we broadcast. We have 7 stations in total right now.
Mike Neff?
That is outstanding. So outside of the little racing games that the guys over here in the sim world like to run, do you
here he goes again.
Oh, Lord.
To have a channel that does live racing, or do you intermix the two?
We do, we simulcast all the ETV stuff, and hopefully soon it'll be more sports oriented and not so much music, just music in between, because it's genre to be a sports entertainment radio station. So we're trying to get more in that direction with stuff that ETV is doing coming up soon. Hopefully we'll get that far.
Very cool. I guess, have you done any sports outside of racing so far?
They simulcast a live event that Wesley did here a while back. Was it about 3 months ago?
Wait, on the 24 Hours of the Mountain?
Yeah. We broadcast that live.
It's probably the longest radio production at a stock car track in the world, isn't it, Wesley?
You think so, John? Except for the 24 Hours at Daytona, maybe.
I'd be willing to bet if anybody ever did a broadcast from Cherokee Speedway, they would probably be longer.
I don't know, Mike. This one was a pretty long ordeal. I think it got so bad. JD was like, "Look, the server's about to crash. We need to get a new upload."
Overheating. That's
Hey,
cool.
Phil.
That's cool. Super producer Phil, where are you based out of?
Well, we're based out of all over the world. we have several locations. We have a production
He's Pinky
studio
the Brain's evil cousin.
We have a production studio in Connecticut. We have one in Louisville, another one in Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis. We have a studio up there. We operate 4 major servers out of a server group in Phoenix. We're all over, broadcasting worldwide. You need all the power you get.
Well, don't move anything to Three Oaks and a stump then, because you'll run out of your power in a hurry down there.
And Phil, I thought you had the second worst sim racer in the world with you, your partner, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't understand this one bit, man. I don't understand. Now better, Phil?
You're breaking up, Wesley. I think we're losing you, bud.
Yeah.
But it must be time for an upgrade.
Let's get time for some. I can hear you
On more than his
perfectly
computer,
talking
Mike,
smack.
I say it's time for a relocation.
One more rise crack out of
Break
you.
off some of that income and upgrade.
One more rise crack out of you, Mike Neff, and you're getting deducted off the air.
That's fine. See, I can get back in and
I
stay
don't think
connected.
he's got any power to do anything the way he's breaking up.
He's good.
What are you saying, Phil? I can't kick him from the server. Is that what you're saying?
To be able to knock me off
You're
there,
back
big
now.
guy.
I think we've got you now. You had to tighten up those 2 cans and a string a little bit.
Exactly.
To get the connection better. So I think
Dude, I don't understand it. The internet is so damn stupid. 1 minute it's working perfectly, and the next minute it's like, ugh.
Mr. Zuff
I don't
fell
get
off
it.
the pole again.
That is the power of the internet. We deal with that on a daily basis here at the HD Radio Network. That's hdradionetwork.com.
Absolutely. HDRadioNetwork.com. Well, Phil, buddy, thank you so much, and we appreciate you for being on and chatting it up and talking about what you do. Also, real quickly, John and I inked the deal with Stan Lester at Fast Track to start covering the Fast Track Racing Series on ETV effective next year. And guys, I just want to let you know, we've really been working.
Pull a string.
Pull a string, yeah, exactly.
The string a little tight there, Wesley.
Absolutely. But I want to let everybody know that that there's something that me and John and JD have been working very, very hard at to try to get the Fast Track program on there. We've got a lot of big plans. We really don't want to release all of the ideas that we have. And I will say something, John, with some of the stuff that Barry's talked about, it would be something cool to talk to him to see if we can incorporate some of us, or incorporate he's doing at xsan.tv to pull off the stuff that we would like to do with EV.
Almost definitely. That's a pretty interesting subject when he was on there, Wesley.
Definitely.
Yeah, and he's right, Wesley. The internet is the way things are going. Mobile devices, we broadcast to a lot of mobile listeners. It's becoming a very, very big chunk of our listenership is mobile. And, we provide several different stream options with high-quality audio and low bit rates for these mobile devices. And it's a growing field.
Wesley, this will blow your mind. Ask Phil Foltz how many concurrent users he has on peak during a weekday.
How many current users you have on peak during the weekday? I sound like a parrot copying John.
Copying John. Across the network during our peak hours, because we're mostly a 9 to 5 station, got a lot of work time listeners and stuff. Our peak could probably be anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 concurrent listeners at one time. But that's just at one time. We probably host up to across the network up to probably 10 to 15,000 different listeners throughout the course of a day.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
and by the way, I just want to let everybody know that so let them know, Super Phil, that not only whenever they're
Stretch the string.
A bunch of there's other affiliates like with what you have with HD Radio Network where people can tune in and listen as well.
absolutely.
Definitely. Well, guys, I do appreciate it very much. Super producer Phil Foltz, thank you for all that you do with ETV Live Radio and the Winner Is Motorsports Show. I think this is going on month number 4 of us being on this network, and I thank you so much for jumping on board and seeing the potential that me and Mike Neff have with having this show on every Monday night, along with JD Webb and John Wesley. And man, hopefully the sky's the limit. We can go on to bigger and better things in the future.
Absolutely. That's where we're all. It's the goal for all of us is get bigger and better as we go, and take out bigger market share.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Super producer Phil Foltz getting off the air.
Could have had him on our regular communication thing rather than on the phone, and that way we could have talked with you about.
Dude, y'all server not crashing? Mine is crashing.
Oh man, we're sitting here talking like nobody business.
How many people live in that town,
Mine's crashing, but yours isn't.
How many people live in that? What is that? 4 Oaks, Mike Neff? Was there like
3
30
Oaks and a
people
stump.
live there?
I said, I'm
Oaks
tired of him
and a
making
stump.
comments. I'm kicking his ass from the server.
It's Wesley, his wife, his kids.
Boom! I kick him from the server. I might be in 4X, but I can still do it.
It was just delayed like 45 seconds.
Here he comes. I just wanted to prove to you that I can do it, fella.
Well, that's great. Congratulations.
Hey, you making fun of my little,
I can sit here and just keep talking, and you'll drop out before long because you're connected with duct tape and baling wire.
Wow. Keep talking your smack.
So, hey.
I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why it's maybe it's backing up tonight. I don't get it. I mean, it says I got full internet strength. It says everything looks good. I don't understand. But what I will say is we're gonna sign off early
Why are we signing off early?
because I don't want to keep dealing with all these technical issues.
He's got to go down to the pet store and get some feed
Gotta
for
go
his
feed
hamsters.
the gerbil.
I gotta feed no damn gerbil. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll try it one more time here and get Langley Austin from Race22.com on the show. Mike, let Langley know we're going to call him up here in just a minute. And when we come, we'll talk with Langley Austin with Race22.com, all late models all the time. The Motorsports Authority. Chatted up with him.
Authority.
Motorsports Authority, the Short Track Authority, whatever. We'll give him new nicknames. Langley Austin telling it like it is after the break on And the Winner Is. We'll be right back on ETV.
Coming up tonight live on ETV Live and ETV Live Radio, Real Sim Racing's Full Throttle Cup Series. Join Michael Keaton and Devin Smurfett
Shortway
from the
Real
booth with
Estate
reports and live
Incorporated,
updates from
conveniently
Pit Road
located
by
off of
Dakota Urban
intersection
and
I-81 and
ATV Live Pit Road
I-77
crew.
in Withville,
Live on
Virginia.
ETV Live
Services
tonight at
all
9:20
of
p.m. on the
Southwest
Star Car
Virginia
channel on
in
ETV Live
residential,
Radio, Real
farm,
Sim Racing's
recreational,
Full Throttle
and
Cup
commercial
Series.
property. The company is owned by Jason and
We'll
Judy
see you
Short.
there.
Judy has been in the real estate market for over 15 years and is the broker of Shortway Real Estate. And they have two of the top agents in Southwest Virginia. Their goal is simple: to provide the best customer service and build business on repeat clients. You can get pre-approvals in less than 20 minutes. They have many properties located on over 300 websites nationwide. You can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for customer service guaranteed. And guess what? Licensed in Virginia, they can show you any property listed in the Commonwealth state. They're located at 1205 East Main Street in Withville, Virginia. For more details, call 276-223-4018. That's 276-223-4018. Shortway Real Estate Incorporated, reminding you, take the short way home.
Coming up tonight live on ETV Live and ETV Live Radio, Real Sim Racing's Full Throttle Cup Series. Join Michael Keaton and Devin Smurfett from the booth with reports and live updates from Pit Road by Dakota Urban and the ETV Live Pit Road crew. Live on ETV Live tonight at 9:20 p.m. on the Star Car channel on ETV Live Radio, Real Sim Racing's Full Throttle Cup Series, etv-eplay.net. We'll see you there. The Pit Report, featured every Friday night at 7 p.m. live on ETV Live Radio. Join Dakota Urban and J.D. Webb for weekly race recaps, driver interviews, and updates. Unabridged, uncensored, and no knotheads, cowboy. The Pit Report, live on ETV Live Radio, 7 p.m. every Friday night. ETV Live, always pushing the bar just a little bit further, is proud to introduce ETV Live Radio, supported by the HD Radio Network. ETV Live Radio features classic rock every hour, every day. You can also catch live events such as Race Day broadcasts right from the booth. Open Paddock Live at 9:30 p.m. Tuesday nights. The Pit Report on Friday nights at 7 p.m. ETV Live Radio featured in the sports section of iTunes. Get the mobile app from TuneIn.com and look for us on Windows Media Guide. ETV Live Radio on the HD Radio Network.
All right, we're back.
And welcome back to And the Winner Is Motorsports Show, a broadcast of the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Don't forget, tonight at 9:30 Eastern, join me, Michael Keaton, the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series and the Icebreaker Winter Series. Tonight, where are we going to be at, John? Where are we going to be at this Monday evening for the next stop for the Icebreaker Winter Tour? Was it round number 3, I believe?
Round number 3.
Round 3. Where's it going to be at?
Dover,
Dover, Delaware. The Monster Mile. That should be cool to watch. Coming up here at 9:30 Eastern on the ETV Live Network. I'm Wesley Outland, the ringmaster of motorsports, and as always, the vindictive, evil, spiteful editor of FrontStretch.com, the racing devil, Mike Neff. Oh, wow. Well, let's get on the evil one of Race22.com, Langley Awesome. What do you think, Mike?
Go for it. He's excited that his groupie.
Oh,
By the way, while his phone's ringing,
he's excited to
why did it take you like 3 days to get back from Indianapolis?
You hear this,
That's
right?
Good sound.
Exactly.
Did you call his home number?
The 540 number, yeah. Here we go again, playing phone tag. We'll try it again. I'll try one more time. What do you think?
Sure. You like?
Hey, you damn damn bill, Langley. Hey, you're a witness to it this time, Mike. You are a witness to it this time that I called and got hung up on, or it was getting the busy signal.
Yes.
I'm gonna try it one more time. Have you texted him and told him to answer?
Oh, just told me you were calling.
Maybe we'll get up with him this time. It's ringing. It's ringing. Here it comes. Maybe he'll answer. Will he do it? Well, at least it's ringing and not a busy signal.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep.
Watch this.
Apparently he hired the guy to do the turn the page.
Langley Austin, answer your phone! Hey, what now?
But apparently he hired the dude that does the turn the page thing for grade school reader books.
What are you talking about?
To do his message. It sounded like the dude, bell, page.
This is stupid.
Oh, call his cell phone.
Oh, is that what he said? Call us?
Yeah, he said, sorry, you always call his cell phone first, so he didn't think to tell you to call the cell phone.
Wow. Well, everybody says now to call the house or ground line, so that's what I was going to do instead of call a cell phone. We're about to get down and we're about to start having Langley Austin telling it like it is here. Langley Austin from Race22.com. Langley, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, man, dude, are you doing okay? I know you had a case of the flu last week, and now my son's got it.
Well, I didn't give it to him, I promise.
I know. Are you feeling better, though, dude?
Yeah, I can actually speak to you. I couldn't have spoke to you last week about this time.
Oh, definitely, man. Hey, by the way, I just wanted to say big kudos to you hooking up with the other racing radio show that I'm a part of on Wednesday night, the Racing Review. Good to hear you're a part of that deal as well.
Yeah, those guys contacted me, and they wanted to bring somebody on with some asphalt short track knowledge. I know they got you over there to take care of all the dirt stuff, so we leave the dirt to you, and we take care of all the asphalt racing for them.
We'll leave the dirt. Yeah, leave the dirt to me, and you take care of the asphalt. But I did take care of you last week because I know you were sick, and we talked a little bit about the snowball derby and all sorts of things. But Langley, dude, what happened at Ace Speedway, man? What's going on with Brad Allen and Abraham Woodlowski and company, and all the stuff going on at the 3/10 mile track nestled off of Altamaha, North Carolina?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll just go ahead and ask you. You want me to tell you the truth, or you want me to, sugarcoat it?
I'd love to get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. This is the truth, in my opinion. My opinion is that Brad Allen kind of, used Race 22 and, other media sources as a form of leverage to get Abraham to do what he wanted to do. He announced his resignation, blah, blah, blah. Everybody went all to hell about it. And, here we are, I don't know, almost a week later, and my opinion is that Brad Allen, we named the new general manager of Ace Speedway not too long from now.
Do what now? Wait. Do what?
It's kind of confusing, but I feel like it was all more or less a stunt to get leverage. I think that Brad will be right back at Ace Speedway. I mean, I could be wrong. He has other options. There are other tracks that have contacted him, but my opinion is, by resigning and having all these drivers and stuff that I know for sure have called Abraham and complained, and they want Brad back and blah 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 whatever. I think that it's been to his betterment, I should say. It's gonna get him his job back, and maybe a raise, and maybe some other things to come along with it.
Sir, are you saying that it was a psychological psych job that Brad Allen is doing at Ace Speedway, and in the end he's going to benefit from it?
Well, I mean, I guess. I mean, sometimes, you have to do things in business. You have to make decisions that maybe you don't want to make that could have devastating effects only to get what you want. And I think that that's exactly what's happening in the race. I think that, Brad resigning will be a benefit to the racetrack. He'll be right back, and he'll be in better position with the owner, and, things will move forward.
Mike Neff, what's your thoughts of that whole buddy?
Well, I guess I'm curious, does that mean the whole ad that's on Racing Junk and somebody trying to sell half the track for $2.4 million was all just farce? Or, I mean, mind you, it didn't look very damn professional.
That ad, everybody keeps bringing that ad up. That ad's been on there for 3 years. It makes no difference. They put it up and take it down and put it up and take it down, and it's on there all the time. It was last year this time that was brought up. It was the year before that this time that it was brought up. That ad don't mean jack. That guy that owns the track, he doesn't know anything. He would desperately love to have somebody give him $2.4 million or whatever it is, whatever. That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. But, he'd love for somebody to do that, but it's just not going to happen, and it doesn't really mean anything.
But the thing is, though, and this is what I've heard, Langley and Mike, is that Abraham has been sitting back the last 2.5 seasons, and he's been watching what Brad Allen has been doing with Ace Speedway, and it's been doing well. They've been making money. They've been getting the asses in the seats. They've been having the cars. And they made Ace the place see the race for short track racing this year and for numerous years since. And a lot of people think that Abraham saw what was going on, and he wanted his share of the piece of the pie back. Your thoughts on that, Langley?
I don't think at all. I think that he knows so little, and I'm not trying to belittle the guy, because he's a great businessman to have, came as far in life as he has, and to have as much money as he does, and to have been able to buy the place. But I think when it comes to racing, I think that everybody thinks that a business is a business is a business, and that's not the case. People get into the racing business all the time. Most of them don't jump in, $3 or $4 million worth like this guy does, did. But I think that, people jump into the racing business all the time, and they don't have a clue what they're doing, and they think, man, this looks easy. Man, you just show up and you have a race, and people come in the stands, and there's cars in the infield, and it's just, cake and ice cream here, man. It's just awesome. And that's not the case. Short track racing is far from that.
Exactly.
To, work your butt off, and he didn't know that. He bought the racetrack, and I've been told this several times by several credible people that he bought the racetrack and said, well, when's the Cup Series coming? When NASCAR come here?
Yeah, he thought he was going to just have a nationwide race out of the box. Could we guess on who that died again? Ladies and gentlemen, the user has left the building. In an amazing development that somehow is our fault, I am sure, Wesley Outland has, for the third time tonight, dropped off of the face.
I don't think Elvis ever left the stage this many times.
No, Elvis left the building once. That was his gig. He would come back again, and then once the ladies had thrown all of their bras on stage, he would leave the building, and that was why they said Elvis has left the building, so women would quit throwing undergarments on the stage. Apparently, maybe that's part of the problem. Wesley's not getting enough undergarments, and he's leaving and coming back thinking he's... But whatever that case may be, it's an interesting take by Langley Austin. I am curious. I had heard that Brad had some offers from other places. I know he's had them in the years past. But it would be interesting if he, if this was a little power play, and if he pushed the envelope to see if Abraham would come back and and hire him back, or if he would hire somebody else, or if enough people were going to scream and holler that it was going to prove to the owner that they really should have him back in play. Be curious to see how that all plays out. I'm willing to bet that Brad doesn't want to uproot and move to run another racetrack somewhere, so obviously staying close to home would be the ideal situation. But I'm curious. It'll be fun to see, as it always is when there's drama around your local short track, and we all know that there's always drama about local short tracks. It is funny how people with money that don't know anything about racing constantly get into and get out of racing. The old saying that has been around, and I know it's been attributed to a few different people. I don't really know positively who said it first. But if you want to make a small fortune in racing, you have to start out with a big fortune. And it's so true, and yet there are so many rich people that come into the racing world and don't have a clue and lose a whole bunch of money before they realize that. So the owner at Ace was lucky enough to get hooked up with Brad Allen to where he's actually, as far as I know, and again, I'm not privy to the books, I'm not privy to everything that goes on, but I do believe they were on pace this year to break even with that track, which in 3 years' time from where that track was to where it is at the end of this racing season, is a monumental effort and an outstanding success story. And a big part of it's because of Brad Allen. So if Brad is using this as a power play and he gets more money and gets more control, which honestly I think it was more control that he was more interested in than more money. But whatever it is, and again, I don't know the inner workings of the whole deal. We'd have to get Brad on here to talk to him about it, and I don't know if he's going to come on here and tell us a whole lot that we don't already know just by conjecture. But I'm willing to bet that if that is the case, I hope it worked out for him. I hope he's getting everything, because the man's put a hell of a lot of effort in the last 3 years and deserves to be rewarded for all of that effort. So we're hoping that I hope he ends up somewhere. There's some other tracks that I would like to see him go run, just to see if he can turn another track around. Especially some that might be a little closer to the Kannapolis area, just because it's a shorter drive than having to run all the way up to Altamaha, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, just for those of you who were thinking of putting the show back up.
I'm back, and we are having, guys, I'm ready to just call it a night. Seriously. I'm pissed. Literally pissed off right now.
He's pissed, ladies and gentlemen. He's pissed.
I'm very angry.
Pissed off. Bitter. Grumpy. Thoroughly.
I don't understand this. I really don't.
It's
we are live. We'll try to connect back up.
Is bad.
Well,
not to
I don't
spill
know.
the beans, but who
I
do
don't
you
understand.
use for your internet provider?
Hang on a minute, Mr. Know-It-All.
I
don't know how you can say that it's bad. I got full damn bars on the bottom of my screen. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I don't understand. Something must not be connected correctly. I've got 4 bars out of 5 lit up on my board right now.
That's to your router. That's not to the internet.
Well,
you're running
we'll try to connect to Langley one more time. If we get disconnected, we're going off the air.
Who is your internet provider anyway?
I don't want to say because I don't want to get sued by him, but I'm very pissed right now.
I might sue them.
4 gerbils and a hamster.
TWC, that's all I'm going to say. Read between the lines.
Really? Because that's who I've got, and mine's kicking right along.
Absolutely.
But again, yours is probably strung up by duct tape and baling wire.
Langley also ignoring the comments of Mike Neff. We're back here on the show. Langley, thank you so much for your patience, buddy. But yeah, me and you were discussing about the whole, using a racetrack or running it as a business. and that's what Abraham's done with it. And you profess that Brad and the folks at Ace Speedway have not made any money. They might have had a couple of good shows, put a little money in their pocket, but they've not been very successfully in booking. That's one thing you want to do, Langley, with the racetrack. You want to put money in your pockets, but if you can't, you want to at least break even, be in the red. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't been successful in any way, shape, or form. What I said was, they haven't, turned a profit. And with overhead, like,
right,
the debt that the guy took on, that Abraham took on the Speedway, there's almost no way to turn a profit on the venue, the way it is. I mean, it just ain't gonna happen when you pay that much for something, and you're putting $1,000, $1,500. I mean, even if you're putting $2,500 in the seats every week, there's no way to turn a profit there. Yeah, they can have some good shows, and they can make it appear that they're making money. But when you're at the end of the day, you're only making money if you're out. If you're gaining more money in than you have debt.
Income
and there's I mean, unless I'm missing something in the business model, there's no way that they can be doing that.
Mike Neff, what'd you say, buddy?
I said your income exceeds your outflow.
Exactly. That's right.
Mike, what is your whole thought about that whole deal, man?
I mean, Brad's a hell of a job, and I'm not privy to the intimate details, but from what I understood, they were on schedule to break even this year. I know last year that took a big hit because of a bunch of weather-related issues. I don't think they had near the rainouts that they did this year that they had the previous year, and that's why I think they came close to breaking even. I don't know if they actually did break even or not. And I also don't know the definition of break even for them, because I don't know if break even for him is outlay to put on the racing, or if that's outlay to put on the racing and service the debt that was taken on to buy the place. Because I know, like Langley said, they took on a truckload of debt to buy the place, and as we said earlier, I think Homie thought he was going to have a nationwide race the first year he ran the place, and thought he was going to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars on a race, and it just doesn't work that way in the short track world.
Why would you think that in a short track like that, especially with the way the economy and the caliber of motorsports is, Langley? Why would he have thought that the nationwide series of the Sprint was going to be running at Ace Speedway?
I think they were, when he bought it, were they a NASCAR sanctioned track?
Ace Speedway was a NASCAR sanctioned track. Now they're ASA member track sanctioned.
Right. But I think when they bought it, they were NASCAR sanctioned, and he thought that entitled them to a nationwide race right out the gate.
Absolutely, yeah. I just, it's. Look, here's the thing. I've known Brad 3 years now, maybe a little bit longer than that, because he was a very good driver, ran modifieds. He has done an outstanding job racing in general, with the racing program, and we just lost Langley. We just lost Langley Austin, so we'll try to hook back up with him again here. But Mike, I just was going to say here before we try to connect with Langley one more time that he knows how to run a racetrack. He was successful with it, and I'm just sitting back wondering if Abraham's been up north, like, oh wow, they got this, they got that, they got the cars, they got the fans, and even though we're talking about the debt that the track has succumbed, maybe we're putting some money in their pocket. Maybe I need to jump back into this deal. What do you think?
I mean, I think, and again, I don't know all the inner workings of this deal, but I think Brad wants more control over more things to do with the track. And I know before this season, went up and had a meeting, was seriously talking about not coming back. And had a meeting with the track owner, and they hashed some things out and cleared up a few misconceptions, and he came back with more authority than he had going into this year. Now, maybe he's wanting even more than that. Maybe he's decided that if they're going to make money, he wants the owner to put more money into it, and the owner was balking at doing that. I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that it was more of a thing that Brad wanted more. I don't want to say power, because power just sounds gay, but Brad wanted more ability to run the show the way he wanted to run the show. And if that was more financial backing to be able to do that or whatever, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that he was wanting more say in some things and was not given to him.
Langley, Austin, rebuttal on that?
Everybody's missing to this deal is that I think Brad really wanted to go, really felt like it was in Ace Speedway's best interest to head in the direction of becoming NASCAR sanctioned again. I think that there was some sort of issue between NASCAR and Abraham, the owner. There was some sort of issue there where maybe the last time they were NASCAR sanctioned, somehow there's some sort of financial deal that was never taken care of between the two of them. And I think that right there is what this whole deal came about. I think if I'm just guessing, and this is obviously me just guessing, I mean, I know that they were, trying to work toward, becoming NASCAR sanctioned, so I know that played a role. But what I think happened was I think that the only way that Brad Allen was going to get NASCAR sanctioning back there was either for Abraham to pay me that he, supposedly owes NASCAR, or for Brad Allen to find somebody to either buy the track or the track. And, maybe, that's what the falling out was over, was maybe Brad Allen to, make something happen as far as the lease goes, and Abraham didn't like it, or, maybe Brad was, trying to talk him into, giving him paperwork that showed that he was leasing a place where he could get the NASCAR sanctioning, where there really wasn't a lease there, which would have been obviously the direction I would have tried to work was, to get a paperwork that says that and go in that direction. I don't know the details. I wasn't on the phone conversations with them, and I can only, summarize from what I know, from the parts that I do know, and the things that, I was able to find out without, anybody telling me. I was able to get somebody within NASCAR, to tell me that, the track owner still owed them money. And somebody else in order for that to happen. And I just don't think Abraham was willing to make that happen. And I don't think without that Brad could, make the whole NASCAR thing happen. And I think that's where they were left at.
And let's face it, Ace Speedway, it is an ASA member track. It was NASCAR sanctioned. As a matter of fact, when I used to, announce at Ace Speedway about 5 years ago, it was a part of the NASCAR sanction. And yes, you're right. There was a falling out between NASCAR and Ace Speedway, and contingencies and sponsor. Not sponsor money. It was lease money. It was monthly, sanctioning fees that was paid or supposed to be paid to NASCAR on a monthly basis that they fell months and months behind. And Bob Wolf, the touring man for NASCAR, and Ramsey Poston from NASCAR, everybody comes up there and they're like, okay, look, here's the deal. You want to be NASCAR sanctioned, you want to pay the man, you got to pay the man. You want to play in the band, you got to pay the man, and so to speak, and it is what it is. So Langley is correct about that, Mike Neff, because there was a falling out between NASCAR and Ace Speedway and Abraham Woloslawski, and it was long before Brad Allen had even came into the picture of looking at the racetrack. But Langley, now we go from sanctioning from ASA to NASCAR. In years past, people have said, no, you need to stay the hell away from NASCAR sanctioning. The Wheeling All-Americans Series is not doing anything but hurting short track racing. It's hurting grassroots racing, and ASA member track is where you need to be. Now we're seeing a transition phase where, people are like, okay, now NASCAR's on to something for the weekly grassroots level. As a person of the media with Race22.com, what's your thoughts on that theory?
Well, I mean, I think NASCAR has made a huge amount of changes. They've lowered their prices, to make it more affordable for a short track to be a part of the NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series. And they've, lowered the number of races, to be eligible to be NASCAR. In the past, it had to be something like 18. Now it's 12. I don't know if you guys seen that Motor Mile announced their schedule today with, just a handful of, twin, 125 races and one, 250 lap, 10,000 win race into the year.
Right.
And Wesley Outland is gone again. To put a little bit more of a bow on what Langley Austin was talking about there, Motor Mile announced today their schedule for 2013 has 7 race dates. Those 7 dates are going to include 6 twin 125 events and 1 big 250 lapper to cap off the season. They are also going to have a Pro Cup race. They're going to have potentially a couple other one-off type races with some bigger series. But it's an interesting methodology in going after the racing dollar, not having a weekly show anymore, and going down to 1 or 2 times a month to run. And the nice thing would be if these tracks would work together. And I have not looked at their schedule in comparison to South Boston's to see if they were smart enough to do their twin races on opposite weeks from when South Boston is running twins to make sure that they can get the better racers to show up for their events. I hope they did that. But there's different methodologies in trying to make a buck in racing, and running a local short track, you can make some money running on a weekly show basis, but most of the time when you're trying to make money running a weekly show, if you are not Bowman Gray Stadium or Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri, you are probably going to make your money off of the back gate as much or more than you're making it off the front gate, because you're just not going to have that many butts in the stands. Bowman Gray and Lucas Oil are a different animal. Bowman Gray averages about 10 grand a night. They like to say they have 15,000 people there. They don't have them there every week. They probably average about 10 to 12 grand. But still, that's way more butts in the seats than any other short track that I know of. I know the guys out at Lucas Oil in Wheeling, Missouri do somewhere in the 7,000 to 8,000 a night, I believe. At least that's what I've been told. I have never been there. But making money when you have crowds like that can be done. When you're trying to run a local short track that doesn't have that kind of a fan support, and you're trying to bring in 10 or 12 late model drivers every week, it's hard to make the money off the back gate just as much off the front gate. So you change your philosophy and you go after bigger money shows. You run, Gresham Motorsports Park, I could be wrong, but I think Gresham only runs somewhere around 8 race dates a year. They have the K&N race there. They have the World Crown. They have a couple other really big events. And running those big money events gets the best racers in whatever type of cars they're running to come out. And when you have Chase Elliott and you have Bubba Pollard, or you have Kyle Larson and Corey LaJoie showing up, you end up having fans in the stands because those drivers are there. But those drivers are touring around, so if you're going to have those guys show up, it's going to have to be in a touring series. And that's how you make your money. So, if you choose to go with that angle, you can run fewer races. You better hope that you don't get rained on, and you better hope that some of the big names in the sport or in the series that you're bringing in don't have some kind of mechanical problems before they show up for your show, and in turn not show up for your show. So it's a decision made by different tracks, and it seems like we're getting more and more tracks that are going that way.
Coming up, I can't really talk about it yet,
Hey, wait,
but we'll have some good stuff to talk about on the website here in the next week or so.
What do you know
Yeah,
about
definitely,
that?
man, definitely, and no doubt about it. And we appreciate you. By the way, there was a post put about a staff meeting in regards for all of the officials at Ace Speedway and other associates. It was encouraging everyone to attend. I'm just kind of following up and checking up on all the things about it. I know that there is. I guess I say in closing, Mike Neff, and Langley has adamantly always said it. There's no love lost between him and Brad. There's been times him and Brad have had words with one another with some of the stories that gets posted or talked. But Langley tells the truth. And in the media side and the broadcasting side of things, sometimes the truth is not what everybody wants to hear. Can't sugarcoat things all the time, and Langley Austin does not do that, Mike, and sometimes it's ruffled some race promoters' feathers and made some people angry, but he just telling it like it is, Mike.
Don't let him fool you. He sucks up sometimes. He's not always telling you to throw him down in dirty dirt.
Hey, I got a question, Langley, before I let you go. Jack McNeely and the Rev Oil Pro Cup Series, only having 8 or 9 cars for a tour event last year, he has stepped up, and now he's going to pay $10,000 to win in all 14 of the Rev Oil Pro Cup Series events next year. Genius or ridiculous? I'm trying to. Well, Langley done hung up on us again. But Mike, I'll ask you. I'll have you
Probably
answer that question. Genius. Genius or ridiculous?
It depends on your definition, I guess. He's trying to step up. He's trying really hard to make that series relevant again. Pro Cup used to be as relevant, if not more relevant, than ARCA was. It was the premier touring series that was not one of the NASCAR national touring or regional touring series. And arguably, there would be some people that would tell you at its peak, the Hooters Pro Cup was as competitive or more competitive than the Busch/Nationwide Series was. And unfortunately, when the Hooters money went away, it went downhill, and it went downhill pretty bad. And in the last couple years, it almost got to be a joke because of the fact that they were trying to maintain car counts, and we've had the car count discussion before, but they were trying to maintain car counts, and in doing that, they were letting the series basically become run what you brung. There were guys out there in late models running against super late models, running against old Nationwide cars. I think they even had a Cup car or two show up. And it was just basically, if it had 4 wheels and an engine and your driver was wearing a helmet, they'd let you go out and race the damn thing. And it got carried away. And now that Rev Oil's in it, they're putting the money behind it, putting their money where their mouth is. And they're saying, look, here's $10,000 to win. I have not heard what they're paying to make the show.
But are the cars there? But
Well,
are
that's
the
the
cars
question.
there?
What are they going to pay to make the show? Because most of the time, the way you get people to show up, to get the better drivers to show up, is to pay a hefty chunk of money to make the show. Because, face it, the best drivers in the business don't win it every week. And if you're paying $10,000 for first and $400 for second, you're not covering the tire bill for anybody that doesn't win. If you're paying $1,000 or $1,500 to make the show, then it's a different animal. And that's when you're really going to start seeing the better drivers showing up, people putting more money into it, and people following it seriously. So I applaud them. I love the fact that they're putting that kind of money up. Hopefully it will make it relevant. Hopefully we'll get some quality drivers that are interested in chasing some big checks will come out and run the series. Because I would love to see Pro Cup become relevant again and become the premier series that it used to be. But right now it's not. It's going to take a serious commitment by him to last the whole year and not change mid-course, because that's what happened at Concord last year. Concord came out and said, hey, we're going to pay $2,000 or $2,500 to win every week. Come on out, run it at Concord. And they had 6 and 7 cars showing up every week, and by the 4th or 5th week of the summer, they're like, we can't afford this anymore. It's going to be $1,200. And a month later, they had shut down for the year. So I applaud them. I hope they can stick with it for the whole year. I hope they will give it time to let it gain some momentum and get some people back into it. And I hope they're going to pay a lot of money just to make the shows, because if they'll pay $1,500 or even $1,200 to make the shows, to where you're paying for your tire bill and maybe a little extra, then I think you'll start seeing some more talented guys showing up, and I think it'll make it relevant again. But until they make it relevant again, I don't know that you're gonna get a whole lot of exposure or a whole lot of interest in it. I'm hoping they'll stick with it for the whole year. And if anybody out there's smart, you're a quality driver and you got a car that can be competitive every week, I'd run out there and win the first 4 or 5 races before some other guys catch on. You can pocket $40,000 or $50,000 before somebody comes out there to really compete with you.
Well, looking at this other schedule, the NASCAR K&N East Pro Series has released their schedule. Daytona, Tuesday, February the 19th. They're going to be at the World Center of Racing for the, what are they calling that ridiculous mess up there?
Oh, look, just because they didn't pick you to be the announcer, don't be calling it a ridiculous mess.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with, not being picked to being the announcer, but you even heard Langley say things about it. People don't even know nothing about that race.
Well, and
I haven't seen any advertising about it except on this damn schedule. Why are you always going to make it out to be about because I didn't get picked to be an announcer?
Well, because we were all excited about this a month and a half ago, and now all of a sudden you're calling it a ridiculous mess.
I think it's I think it's stupid. You're taking the entire. Well, first off, okay. You want me to get on my soapbox before the end of the night? I will.
Tell me about it.
I think it's hurting the damn local short tracks. It's hurting places like Volusia. It's hurting tracks like East Bay. It's hurting New Smyrna. It's hurting, the weekly winter racing programs down in the South because NASCAR has got wind of, this big thing. Let's do something about it. Let's get everybody to come to Daytona instead of going to New Smyrna.
Here's the question number one. How are they going to hurt Volusia or East Bay when they're dirt and they're not running dirt at Daytona? I don't buy that it's hurting either of those. If anything, if New Smyrna's smart, and I believe they are, if I understand the way they have worked their schedule, they're going to have that Monday and Tuesday off, or they're not going to run late models or modifieds on that Monday and Tuesday. And so what they're doing is allowing these guys to get more bang for their buck in coming to Florida. Because now you've got guys that were going to consider coming down for this Daytona thing that don't normally come down to Florida. And the guys at New Smyrna said, okay, here's the deal. If you're going to be down here, why don't you come over and run at New Smyrna Friday and Saturday, and then go do the Daytona thing Monday and Tuesday, and then come back over to New Smyrna and run Wednesday, Thursday. Now you've got guys that weren't going to be in Florida that are coming to Florida and are actually going to run at New Smyrna as well as Daytona because they're getting more value out of making the trip. I mean, I honestly think it's helping because you've got some guys that don't normally come to Florida in February that are going to be down there and are going to go ahead and race the other track because they're there and they've already made the expenditure to go down there.
My opinion, it should be back at Irwindale. That's my thoughts on it. The All-Star, they're taking this UNOH's Battle of the Beach to Daytona and now making it to being their All-Star race. What was the Toyota All-Star Showdown for NASCAR short track racing for home tracks? It used to be in October, the end of November, beginning of November, and then they changed it to January. I don't know. You'll see what comes out of it.
Down, though.
But I know Irwindale shut down. Another thing. The most pathetic, sad-looking NASCAR Wheeling Southern Modified Tour schedule I think I've seen in 5 years. It is ridiculous.
I don't know that I want to deny that.
You don't agree with me that that looks pathetic?
Yeah, I think it does. I don't know that it's the most pathetic ever because I don't remember what all of them are, but if it's not, it's damn close. I mean, I still, the Wheeling Tour is not much better. It's just the fact that they've got 3 dominant tracks on there rather than 1. But, I mean, the fact that they've got Caraway on there 5 times is stupid. Now, mind you, this year they had it on 6 times, so at least they've gotten better, where half of the schedule is not at Caraway, although it's close. But I don't know what they're shooting for. I don't know what they're trying to do, and Wesley has disappeared again, but I'll go ahead and get on my soapbox a little bit about it because he brought it up. The Southern Tour is the Southern Tour because of Bowman Gray Stadium. The only reason they run modifieds in the South is because of Bowman Gray. Bowman Gray runs from whenever the hell they start, sometime in April up until September, and then they have to quit because Winston-Salem State plays football. So they've got to have someplace else to run modifieds besides the stadium. And don't get me wrong, I love going to Bowman Gray, but I go there for the atmosphere. I don't go there for the racing. That said, they're going to these other tracks. I appreciate the fact that they're branching out a little bit. They're going to Southern National, which I think is kind of cool. They're going to Langley, which will be interesting. They go to Bristol, which is Bristol. It's kind of fun to watch, but ironically, the racing's usually not that good there, although it has been a little better. It was a little better this year. Honestly, finishing up at Charlotte is a joke because the way that track lays out when they come up onto the banking, it just doesn't lend itself to racing. And we saw it again this year. He dropped the rag on a race. George Brunhosel led every lap. There was nothing close to a chance at him being passed. And it was boring. And it has been every race they've run at Charlotte, and it will be again this year. Because they run the Tour tire, and the Tour tire basically doesn't give anybody a chance to do anything. Just on the gas, off the gas, and nobody's going to pass anybody. So, that said, I appreciate they're going some different places. I think there are a ton of other tracks that they could go to that would be great to see. I don't know why they go to Caraway so much, but similar to the Wheeling Tour. I mean, they go to Stafford, Waterford, and Thompson.
They're always at Caraway, though. They're always at Caraway, though.
I know. They're there 5 times out of 12 races, and I don't get it. It's dumb. But it is what it is. But I don't know why they don't go to Hickory. I don't know why they don't go to Concord. They used to run at Concord when they used to do the north-south thing at Concord. So we know they can run modifieds there. So I don't know why they're not going back there. Motor Mile would be great. Kingsport would be great. There's a ton of tracks that they could run in the South. New Smyrna. I mean, we just got done talking about New Smyrna. Go to South Alabama. I mean, there's a bunch of places they could go. Bottom line is, the only reason the Southern Modified Tour exists is because the guys at Bowman Gray want someplace to run when Bowman Gray's not running. And
right.
It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. You're probably going to have, depending on the rumors, and, you know, people talk a good game, and when the chips are down, they end up being creatures of habit, and they want to go race. The rumor is you're going to have about 6 full-time teams on the Southern Tour next year. Honestly, I bet it's going to be more like 10 to 12. This past season, there were 9 teams that ran the full schedule. 9. You're probably going to have somewhere close to that again next year. And it's modifieds in the South. It doesn't have a following down here. You're not going to build a following and you run at Caraway 5 freaking times out of a 12-race schedule. So I don't get it. I know that they do it because the modifieds were the first series in NASCAR, blah, 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 blah. The modifieds are the greatest at Bowman Gray, blah, 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 blah. If they really wanted to build this Southern Modified Tour, they would race at every NASCAR sanctioned track south of the Mason-Dixon line at least once. And the bottom line is they don't, because these guys don't want to travel, and because they don't travel because they can't make any money, because nobody shows up to see the damn thing. Simple as that.
And this just in as well, a little good news on the horizon to oversee the bad that we've talked about, Mike. And it's not bad. I mean, it's just silly season. It happens during the off season. But this was just released today. Big changes are in store for the Newport Speedway as longtime racer Marty Jenkins has signed a new lease with the Eastern Tennessee track and will now take over the reins and day-to-day operations of promoting and overseeing beginning immediately. A lot of great things going on at that racetrack, and they're even going to talk about doing improvements there to the race facility as well, Mike.
That's a good thing. I always love when guys come in with new and exciting ideas, get some fresh blood in some places that have been struggling. I mean, God love Robert Presley, man. Kingsport has turned around, and just seeing the intense racing that they've had there, great competition, and great fan turnout. And it's a great thing to see, and it's because of Robert's efforts. And I congratulate him. I saw him Friday night at the banquet, and I shook his hand and congratulated him and thanked him for what he's doing for local short track racing, and wished him all the best, because it's tough. It's hard getting people in the stands, man. I mean, I've learned that more and more all the time helping out with Jeremy and Ashley at Millbridge. We go down. Last year they printed up, I want to say it was like 1,200 flyers that we took down to the Speedway and to different places here in the Concord, Kannapolis, Salisbury area, and handed out to advertise our NASCAR night, try and get people to come out. And I think we had 250 people come through the gate, which isn't bad for a little bitty go-kart track, but when you put that kind of effort into it, it can be disappointing. So it's hard work, and guys that can do it successfully, I congratulate them, and I wish them all the best. And that's why I hope Brad doesn't go back to Ace. I hope he goes somewhere else so he can revive another track, because he gets it.
Absolutely. Man, I say we get on out of here and bounce. We're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour. What are you doing this weekend, Mike? I'm going to kick back on the couch and relax.
Take care, brother. I am going to the Millbridge Speedway Awards Banquet Friday night at the Mooresville Bowling Alley. And then Saturday, we will be at Millbridge Speedway for week number 2 of the Winter Heat Series. And Sunday, I'm putting up my Christmas tree.
My tree's already up. Press the star around it.
Good job. Cool, brother.
Hey, we
well, thanks
appreciate-
to everyone for listening to us tonight. We appreciate you putting up with Wesley's gerbil dying on him repeatedly and dropping him off the conversation, so y'all had to sit here and listen to me babble incessantly. I hope we entertained you a little bit and at least gave you something to think about. We'll see you next month.
You're the wind beneath my wings, Mike Neff.
I try to be, Wesley. I try to support you when the wheels are falling off and do the best I can, knowing that...
When the gerbils get started.
Exactly. So, best of luck to you, brother. We'll see you next Monday.
Absolutely, man. No doubt about it.
Somebody to get on here and talk again.
Yeah, we'll do it again. By the way, it will be our final And the Winner Is of the year next Monday. Because I only take off 2 weeks for Christmas, for the new year. I'm taking a break. Everybody else is taking a break. And I think you need a break as well, Mike, and John as well. And so next Monday night, we'll do our final And the Winner Is of 2012. Do what?
It'll be our Christmas extravaganza.
I guess. We'll do something. And then we'll come back right after for the new year. So join us next Monday night. Final And the Winner Is of 2012 on the ETV Live Network. Don't forget this tonight, 9:30, RSR Full Throttle Cup Series from over with the Icebreaker Winter Series round number 3. For the Racing Devil, Mike Neff. I am the Ringmaster of Sports, Wesley. And thank you all tuning in. Don't see the books. God, does it fly by. We'll do it again for the Christmas Palooza of And the Winner Is next Monday night. You've been listening to ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Good night and God bless and Merry Christmas.
Oh,